Welcome to my channel, Tuesday's Fun Finds. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay. My daughter loves volleyball, my husband loves to fish, and I love to thrift. I try to turn my fun finds into extra cash. This is by shopping at thrift stores, yard sales, and antique malls. I also buy thrift boxes from places like shopgoodwill.com and ThredUp. If you like thrifting as much as I do, stick around. Watch my unboxings and my hauls. You never know. You may even find a good deal. Hi everybody, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Today I have a purse cleaning video for you. I know last week I had mentioned that I had 4 bags that needed to be cleaned, and these actually are all Coach bags. They're very dried out, they're very dirty, and they need some help. They need some conditioning, some healing, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, I'm not a professional, so make sure that everyone is aware of that. Now, this leather is a thicker leather, so I clean my pebbled leather different than I do my what I call tooled leather, a very heavy leather. So first off, we're going to take the tags off, and we also want to take off the Coach tags, the hang tags. And at this point, I would say you want to go ahead and take any of the straps that may be removed from the purses. I would take them off. They're easier to clean off the purse than on it, in my opinion. And then you may also want to turn your purses inside out at this point too, and make sure that the inside's all cleaned out and there's no papers left in the purse, tissues, that type of thing. Okay, so we're going to start off by filling up the sink water and using a very light and gentle dish liquid soap, natural. In this case, I have 7th generation, I believe is what it's called. There's not a specific amount that I put in there, I just put it in there. And make sure that your water is lukewarm, not too hot, not too cold. I forgot to unbuckle this one, so I'm unbuckling it here, throwing water everywhere. And then I don't leave them soak for a specific period of time. I'll just put them in the sink water. I'll move on, like do, I don't know, load of laundry, either start a load, fold some clothes, do a little bit of sweeping or whatever, and then just come back to it when I'm ready. Okay, so here we're going to use some saddle soap to wash the purses, to give them a little bit of cleaning. The saddle soap cleans it, preserves it, and softens the leather. The brush that I'm using is very soft. It's not a hard bristled brush. Now this small purse I'm not able to turn inside out, so I'm using the washcloth to wash the inside. Just get the debris out, give it a good wash. Now the saddle soap will suds up, just like any other soap. And then I just start to gently wash it. Sometimes in circular motions, sometimes just in straight motions. It doesn't matter, at least in my opinion. See, I'm showing you on my hand right there that I'm just doing it softly. Nothing aggressive. Now this bag I have turned inside out, and I'm using the washcloth because it's not like a leather, like an outside or exterior leather. It's more of like a raw leather. So I'm just using the washcloth to wash off any areas that or maybe need washed. And then I'm going to turn this purse right side out. And then we'll use the saddle soap on it on the outside. Now this saddle soap I actually purchased at Meijer's in the shoe department. Saddle soap can be used on anything: boots, shoes, belts, handbags. Okay, so now I'm going to drain the water. And then we're going to rinse the purses. I do it twice. So the first rinse is going to be you rinsing the saddle soap off. And you'll see that the purse actually partially absorbs it. And then some of the areas will leave like a white residue kind of. And then I just use the brush to kind of wipe those areas off. I'm using a wash rag to clean off some of this brass, the hardware. There's some green on there. All right, so here's the first soak. And then I drain the water. You can see the water's a little cloudy. I drain the water and we soak one more time. And then I pull the purses out after that second soak. Lots of times I'll put them on the other side of the sink just so that they can drain a little bit before using the towels to dry. And then here I'm actually moving these out of the way because I'm going to wash the next two. And then here's me starting the next two. This one was filthy. The inside was terrible. I'm turning it inside out before I put it in the water. I would say out of all of them, this one was probably the filthiest. There we go. And then I tried to turn the bucket purse inside out, and it just was too small. So I gave up on that and just put it in the water. That happens. You'll know whether or not you can get it to turn inside out or not. Yeah, there's me. There we go. I was struggling. Okay, so then the next step is to get them dried off. So here I'm using my island. This is the bigger purse of the 4. And I laid them down on a towel, and you can see I'm using another towel to get inside the purse. And I'm just kind of dabbing away. Here's the smaller purse. I'm just wiping any of the water. Of course, it dried the fastest out of all 4 because it's smaller. But you just dab, dab, dab. I'm just pressing down lightly, kind of firm, to get the moisture, the heavy moisture, off of the purse. Okay, and then I'm going to scoot everything over, well, this purse over, because I'm going to start laying them out to dry overnight. So I end up first putting down a towel on the island. I start off with the biggest purse. And you start stuffing. So each of the purses are going to be stuffed. And when you're stuffing, you kind of want to keep them in a position that you want them to dry in. So in other words, you don't want them to be awfully wrinkled. See how I have the straps laid out? So I'm laying them out like they would be normally. That way they're going to dry that way. You know how sometimes the purses are deformed or disformed when they're in the boxes when we get them from ThredUp? That's because they've been laying like that for too long. So here you want to stuff them so that they dry the way that they should, instead of like folded or anything like that. So then we're going to leave these actually lay there for a good day to the next night. So the next night, this is me getting new towels. And we're going to replace the towels in the purses, and we're going to flip them. So here I'm pulling out the damp towels. And then we're going to replace it with a dry one, hand towel. And again, you want to keep them stuffed. And then I flip it. And it helps too, like when it's more humid out, drier air. Helps them dry faster. So I'm going to stuff this next one. I think I'm flattening out the bottom a little bit. That way it's not wrinkled as much. And then we're going to flip it the opposite of what it was. See me kind of pressing down. There we go. Smoothing it out. That way there's no wrinkles in the leather. Now this purse was kind of already dry and it was sitting up nicely, so I just put one rag in there to help absorb any moisture. Okay, so upside down, and we are going to leave these for another night, another whole day. Okay, so now we're actually 2 days later. I couldn't get to the purses again until 2 days after the last clip. And now I can pull all the stuffing out. They're nice and dry, and they're ready for some healing balm. Now this is Chamberlain's leather healing balm. This actually enriches the leather, and it helps any blemishes. It helps the blemishes kind of disappear. Now I typically only use the balm on any purses that do have any surface scratches, which lots of times, like your pebbled leather, they don't have surface scratches like your heavier leather does in this case. And I just wipe it on. Not too awfully heavy. Now, as you use this balm, it actually, it will actually lighten or turn more into an oil once you're heating it up with your hands and you're using it. And you'll see here in a little bit that the leather will absorb it. But you're just healing the scratches. You're healing the leather. And I'm noticing there that there's some string that will need to be cut. I'm just applying it. You know, getting it into the leather. And this purse right here, this is probably the driest out of the four. That one and the one that's in the middle. So I'm giving it a nice heavy layer. And I do this to every purse. Even the straps. And this works really, really well on your corners. I'm trying just to get it only on the trim. I really don't care to get the balm on the raw leather, like on the inside of the purse where my pointer finger is on my left hand. I don't like getting it on that area because it's not in what I call, that's not finished leather. That's raw. And it doesn't really, the two don't go well, match well, go very good together. I'm getting the creed. And then I start to apply it to the strap. Seeing right now I'm not having to use much on the strap because there's so much of the balm that's on the pad that I'm using, the sponge, that there's plenty on the sponge for the strap. And like I said, as you continue to use it, it gets oily. Okay, we're going to move on to the next purse. I think eventually I stopped this process, showing the process. I just did the first purse and then I start to do this one. And then I can't. The video will be way too long if I continued on doing all four. And then see how it starts to turn shiny. Okay, here we go. So here is after everything has a coat of the healing balm. Everything starts to be shiny. And I let it sit on the leather for a little while. This is, I think, yeah, this is all on the same day. So I move on, I go do other things. See how the balm has absorbed? It's kind of shiny, but it's not wet looking. So the leather absorbs that healing balm. And now that the healing balm has been on the leather for a little while, we're going to kind of buff it. You can see that it was in the corners there, in the cracks. And here I am, I'm kind of buffing it with a clean pad. And then any of the balm that is built up in the corners and in your seams, I'm going to kind of buff it out. So if you remember correctly, the biggest purse I picked up, I never showed that one, but I picked that one up, I would say maybe a month ago. Okay, sorry. So here we have, all right, where everything's buffed out. Oh no, I was showing you the purse, how it absorbed the healing balm, and now I'm buffing it out on that second purse. Look how pretty. Okay, and then the next step is the Chamberlain's Leather Milk Formula Number 1. It's a leather care treatment. It conditions and rejuvenates the leather. And we just squirt it on the bag. And I use my hands. I like to use my hands in this process. That way I can make sure that I get it into the cracks and the crevices and into the seams. Really, really good. And I think, in my opinion, it helps the leather absorb the conditioning treatment. So Chamberlain's Leather Milk is sold several different places, I believe, but I always order it on Amazon, or my husband does for me. And then while I'm doing this purse, the other one is just sitting with the treatment on it so that the leather can absorb as much as it can. Believe it or not, that small purse, I actually applied it 4 times. I just don't show it on my video. And then the purse that I'm working on now, I did it twice. The other 2 purses, I only did it once. And here I'm showing you that the purse absorbed the conditioner. So it has not been wiped. The purse just absorbed it. You can see it in the cracks and the crevices, like in the corners. But here I am applying it again the second time, because it absorbed it so much. Okay, and now we are, see how that's I think it's the second time. Maybe it was the third, I don't remember. But here we're gonna start buffing it again and taking off the excess. But remember that small purse, the small one and the mediums, the bucket. No, it was the bucket purse that I picked up at the flea market. And then the medium and that small one that I have in my hand right now, I picked those up at the thrift store. All three of those were in my thrift video, my thrifting haul video from last week. The bigger one I picked up weeks ago. I don't think it was part of a video. So luckily, you'll want to stick around because these 4 purses, along with several other Coach purses, I have a big ambition, but we'll just have to see if it all works out that way. So be sure to click the notification bell. That way you're notified when I upload any video. That'll be helpful for you to be able to see them when I list them or when I post them. But this purse was very dry too. So they needed another coat. Okay, so now we're putting the purses back together. I'm putting their tags back on, closing them up, fixing their straps, buckling them back up if they're unbuckled. And the next clip after this one, you will be receiving the final finished cleaned purses. It was a lot of work, and again, remember this was the course of several different days, and I'm not a pro. This is just how I choose to clean this style of purse. So here's the before, because we can't forget how they used to look. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Before you go, please consider subscribing to my channel. Please also like, drop a comment, and click the notification bell. Be sure to select all. That way you're notified when I post my next video. All of this helps my channel grow. As always, thank you, and we'll see you soon.